Mind cosmology works its miracles through definite, well-established cosmic laws that rule the entire universe. When you have unsolvable problems that refuse to yield to any known power, you may tap a stratum of cosmic mind, which knows the answers and can immediately solve the problem. When you persistently have bad luck, you can tap this same power of cosmic mind to bring you a cycle of good luck. The 5 mystic laws that control you and release the magic power of mind cosmology work under the same principle as the law of mathematics. 2 and 2 make 4, never 5 or 6. When you live under these laws of mind cosmology, you will always get the right results in your life. Nothing will come too late or too early, but every event will follow the cosmic timetable of cycles and bring you creative gifts for every season of your life. This woman lived in a cloud of confusion and bad luck. One woman I know who had no idea she was creating her own bad luck lived in a constant cloud of confusion and discord. She was a sales lady in a big department store, but she was soon discharged because she argued with the customers and had constant friction with her co-workers. This woman's family, 2 sons and a daughter, had long since lost respect for their mother. The father had deserted them when they were young because of the mother's sharp tongue and constant abuse. She was jealous and suspicious and constantly accused her husband of having an affair with another woman. Finally, he was fed up and simply disappeared. When this woman came into the study of mind cosmology, she was already in her late 40s and told me a long tale of woe about how ungrateful everyone was, what a monster her husband had been, how unfair they were at her place of business. She could not realize that she was creating her own problems and bad luck by her wrong mental attitude. It took me 4 weeks, with an interview each week, to set this woman on the right track. I gave her a regime to work on. She was to be busy changing her mental attitude and stop finding fault with people and the world. I gave her the following cosmology affirmations to affirm every day, as often as she needed them to keep herself mentally in balance. I now create my own mental atmosphere of good luck. I am not a victim of circumstances. I can change that which I do not like by changing my mind. I now see perfection all around me. I am in tune with people and the laws of life. I radiate poise, confidence, and love. I know that all my problems are now overcome through my understanding of others, through patience and goodwill. I am joyous and expectant of my good. The next 4 weeks of living under this mind cosmology regime did wonders for this woman. She actually became a new person. Her facial expression changed. She had formerly looked cross, and the corners of her mouth drooped in perpetual disapproval. She now smiled warmly when she met people. She got another job in a big department store, and within 3 months, she was elevated to a position as manager of her department. She later told me, "I can never believe the miracle that has happened to me. Now my children seem to love me more than ever, and I have met a man who wants to marry me, if I can get a divorce." How to use the 5 mystic laws of mind cosmology that solve problems and bring good luck. Law 1. Positive identification with the creative power in the universe. Begin this moment to identify yourself with the creative power that rules the universe. Each day, acknowledge that God is the supreme power back of the universe, and that you align yourself with Him and His divine laws. These laws are love and good. When you are good, you will cease to be troubled by problems. These life experiences we call problems exist for all people, but you will meet these challenges with new courage and energy when you operate under the cosmic laws of good and love. Positive identification with the creative power of the cosmos gives you a sense of being aware, of being one with the power. This mystic law in mind cosmology is known as the I am consciousness. At least 10 times a day affirm these laws of cosmic identity. I am one with cosmic power and can solve all problems. I am joyous and my problems now dissolve under the rays God's infinite intelligence, love and joy. I am prosperous and achieve riches mentally, physically, materially, and spiritually. I am healthy and every cell of my body radiates life energy, youth, and long life. I am in the magic circle of God's divine love and attract my true soulmate and radiant happiness in love and marriage. How she overcame tremendous problems in her work. A young girl worked in a law firm, and she disliked her work because it was so confining. There was discord and friction in her office which she carried home with her. As she lived with her mother and father, she felt further suppressed and stifled by her inability to overcome her perplexing problems. She felt limited since she knew she should be in creative work that she enjoyed, such as commercial art, interior decorating, or advertising. This young lady came to a lecture series I gave in New York. She learned how the laws of mind cosmology work, and she began to apply them to her life. Instead of being bored with her work and desiring change, she stopped wasting her mental energy on regrets, dissatisfaction, and discontent with her lot in life. I gave her a new regime to work on. I told her to enroll in a fashion designing course at a famous school of design. She took a night course and soon was so busy meeting artistic people and doing work she loved that she forgot her discontent and frustration. Within a year, this girl graduated with honors from this school. She was given a position with one of the leading department stores in designing their new fashions. Soon she was traveling to Paris, London, Rome, searching for new ideas for her firm and making more money than she had ever dreamed was possible. Law 2. Desire for cosmic knowledge and psychic guidance. This cosmic law works in all creation. An acorn has an innate desire to become an oak tree, not a maple tree or a pumpkin. When it expresses this cosmic urge, it is able to attract to itself all the elements to make a perfect oak tree. It does not become a maple tree or a pumpkin because this was not the psychic guidance it received from all-knowing cosmic mind. Let the guiding light of your life be to accumulate cosmic knowledge and to open the higher psychic centers where you will receive psychic guidance. Become a mental and psychic giant. You have the power to become anything you wish once you tap this higher psychic power within. It knows how to solve your problems, how to bring you good luck, how to make you successful and rich, healthy and happy. Each day when you start your work, ask this higher cosmic mind to guide you in your every move. When you have a complex problem to solve and do not know which way to turn, go into the silence for a moment by saying quietly, "Peace, be still. Be still and know that I am God." Then wait for a moment until you are completely still. Suddenly your mind will receive promptings from the higher psychic mind, and you will then forget your problem. Go about your regular affairs, and suddenly you will be inspired to do the very thing that solves the problem perfectly. How a man was able to win a lawsuit by psychic guidance. A man I once knew started a lawsuit for $150,000. The attorneys told him he could not possibly win, for the other side had powerful forces in politics that would make him lose the case. The man had studied mind cosmology in my classes and knew the power of his higher psychic mind. He realized that he would be told the right things to say when his time came on the witness stand. His two attorneys were confused and upset, but this man maintained his inner calm and kept affirming, "I am under control of my higher mind. I am calm and still. Divine justice will now triumph in my life. I ask psychic guidance as to what I shall say and do on the witness stand." When he got up to testify, he said a tremendous feeling of calmness came over him. He depended entirely on his higher psychic mind to give him the words with which to answer the questioning attorney. No matter how the opposition attorney tried to confuse him, he kept affirming to himself, "Divine justice will prevail. My mind is now calm and under perfect control." He and his attorney were both surprised at how he answered each question on the witness stand. When he got down, he knew within himself that he had won his case. The jury was out only half an hour when they returned with a verdict giving him his victory and $150,000. Law 3. Expand your consciousness to encompass the power of the mastermind of the universe. Everywhere in nature we see the mastermind of the universe doing its miraculous work. This mastermind works through three forces: Omniscience, all-knowing, all-wise. Omnipotence, all-powerful, all-encompassing. Omnipresence, everywhere, present at all times. This cosmic mind works in the soil, in the air, in the seas, and also within your mind and body. To achieve omniscience, expand your consciousness to encompass all branches of knowledge. Study a little about psychology, philosophy, industry, art, music, business and finance, travel and foreign countries, literature, poetry, astronomy, and biology. As the centers of your consciousness absorb more knowledge, you will achieve the state of omniscience, where cosmic mind can pour its intellectual treasures into your brain centers. How a mother used omniscience to know how to help her child. A woman I once knew had some training in the science of mind cosmology. She had a 5-year-old son who was suddenly very sick. The doctors could not find out what was wrong with him, and he became weaker and weaker every day. The mother was desperate, for she knew the child would die if she could not find out what to do. She withdrew her mind from the problem and went into the silence, using prayer as the connecting link between her mind and the omniscient mind of God. She asked for guidance as to what she should do to heal her son. The boy was then in a state where he frequently went into a coma, and then later came out of it. The mother sat beside her child's bed, waiting for him to awaken, when suddenly something within her said, "Give your boy orange juice, lots of orange juice." She left someone to watch her child while she went to the market and bought oranges. She returned and squeezed some orange juice, and when her son awakened, she gave him 2 glasses of it. After the orange juice, the boy seemed to be somewhat better and did not slip back into the usual coma. Then something within the mother told her to go and squeeze more oranges and give the juice to the boy. She did, and he eagerly drank the orange juice, until within 2 hours' time, she had given him 4 glasses of orange juice. The boy started to improve from that moment on. The next 2 days, she gave him the juice from 10 to 15 oranges a day. And within that time, the boy responded so beautifully that he wanted to go out into the yard to play. The mother was afraid to let him go out, so she called another doctor and asked him to come and examine her son. When the doctor came and examined him, he said, "Why, there's nothing wrong with this boy." The mother then told him how dangerously ill he had been, and how she had given the boy orange juice, and how he had recovered. The doctor then told her that her son had been suffering from a severe case of acidosis, and the orange juice or other citrus fruits would have an almost miraculous effect in healing him. The mother had been intuitively guided to do the right thing for her boy, and he lived and became strong and healthy. How to use omnipotence. Each day affirm that you are drawing on the cosmic power of the God mind. Know that it is omnipotent, all-powerful, all-encompassing, with the ability to solve your every problem. Affirm several times a day. I draw on the omnipotence of cosmic mind and my problems now dissolve. I am all-powerful, and my mind and body are fortified by the inner strength of divine mind. How a man used this cosmic force for changing his life. A man who came to some of my lectures on cosmology had a tremendous problem which he could not solve by himself. He came to me for guidance, and I told him he must look for help from the higher God mind within his own mind that would give him the strength to overcome the thing troubling him. He had a son who was only 18 years of age and had taken to drinking. While drunk one night, he had driven a car without a license and killed an old man who was crossing the street. This terrible tragedy blighted this man's entire life, as it was his only child. He and his wife were tragic-stricken and came to me for guidance. The boy was free on bail, and his trial would soon come up. I told this man to draw on the cosmic mind power and utilize the cosmic force of omnipotence. He himself could do little for his son, but God, who knows all and is all, could help him. Under the law of divine justice, I told him, he could ask for his son to be freed and not to be sent to prison for a year or 2, as was likely under the laws governing manslaughter. The fact the young man had been drinking made it a much more serious offense. When the day of the trial came up, the father was mentally in a state of calmness and expectation that his son would be freed by the jury. When all the testimony had been heard, the jury retired for deliberation. During that period, the father kept repeating positive affirmations that all would be well and that his son would be free. The jury deliberated for 3 hours, and when they returned, their verdict was guilty of manslaughter in the first degree. Even with the weight of this negative evidence, the father did not give up hope. He knew that his son was to be free. When the judge sentenced the boy, he said, "Your conscience will punish you more than this court ever can. I thereby sentence you to 1 year in prison, with the sentence suspended on condition that you report for probation every month, and on further condition that you remain sober and do not drive a car for 1 year." This was, in the father's opinion, a just sentence, and his boy was remanded in his custody. Since that day, his son has been sober, studious, and changed in character. He learned his cosmic lesson and will probably never err again in the same respect. How the force of omnipresence works in cosmology. Omnipresence affirms the reality of the cosmic mind in all elements of creation. We marvel at the fact that the entire universe runs with such perfect order and regularity. The stars rise and set, the moon and earth revolve around the sun, the seasons come and go in regular cycles that are predictable. The cosmic mind is like a guardian angel, always supervising, always knowing and caring for its loving children. You are never isolated and alone. You can tap this cosmic mind to solve all problems, to guide you to your right work, to make more money, to seek out your right destiny. Wherever you are, this omnipresent cosmic intelligence is already working out your destiny if you but know it and have faith in this higher power. How a man was guided by this power in South America. A man who had been to some of my lectures in New York had a deep inner urge to go to South America. He wrote me a letter a short time after he arrived, telling me an amazing story. When he got to the location he had chosen, he found he did not speak the language, which was Portuguese. He had no contacts or friends. He had very little money, but he began to affirm his power of omnipresence. He knew that this cosmic mind power was there in Brazil, as much as it had been in New York, or in his native land of Greece, which he had left to make his fortune. He quietly affirmed that he would be led to his right work. He expected his good to come from wherever he was. He relaxed and went about the business of settling in his new home with his wife and son. One day he had an impulse to go into a restaurant that was run by a countryman of his, and who had been in Brazil for 10 years. They talked for a short time, and this man told him, "I have a friend who has some capital, and he's looking for a partner to go into his big importing and exporting business. Why don't you go and see him?" The man went, and instantly knew that this was going to be his big business opportunity. The other man was a native of Brazil, but spoke Greek, having worked with people of that nationality. He told this man he needed a good partner in his business, and would take only a few $1,000s as down payment, the balance to be paid off from profits of the business. The two men signed legal papers, and my friend was in business. He told me in his letter that from the moment he went into the business, he knew he would make a fortune. Now they are handling so much business that they must expand their offices and warehouses. Law 4. Tap the divine law of cosmic abundance and use it on every plane. Everywhere you look in nature, there is abundance. Poverty is man-made. Your problems are also created by this limited human consciousness. When you expand the horizons of your mind to encompass the cosmic realms, you realize that you have limited yourself, and that is why you may be suffering from lack, limitation, poverty, and insecurity. Each day affirm as you start your day, "I know that today I shall be able to attract my good. Abundance is all about me. I now receive divine inspiration to do my work and achieve my destiny." This positive law of abundance brought riches to a woman. A woman had lived all her life in the shadow of poverty. She had 3 children, 8, 10, and 13 years of age. Her husband had died in an industrial accident, and she had only his small insurance and a tremendous desire to provide for her children. She casually came to one of my lectures on mind cosmology with a friend who had received help. She listened to the lecture and then went home and began to practice the principles she had heard. She sat in meditation for an hour every day, asking Cosmic Mind to show her what to do. One day, she received an impulse from Cosmic Mind to read a newspaper and look in the business opportunities section. There she saw an ad asking for someone with small capital to go into a perfume business with him. The woman had an urge to write the man, and after she had an interview with him, she found that he needed the exact amount of her insurance money. He had formulas for perfume, as he was a chemist, but it was a different type of perfume. It was based on the astrological signs of the zodiac. This woman asked Cosmic Mind if she should trust this man, and the answer came through in the positive. She withdrew her $3,000 from the bank, gave it to the man, and he signed papers making her an equal partner. Within 3 months' time, they had distributors working in the eastern states, placing their product in many drugstores and novelty shops. Soon they had expanded their business to such a point that she drew from the business the entire amount she had advanced and was receiving each month more money than she had ever had before. The business is still growing and expanding, and this woman says she knows she had guidance from Cosmic Mind. Law 5. Enlist the aid of your subconscious mind to achieve power to solve problems and bring you luck. Your subconscious mind is a very important aid to your life. It heals your body, it keeps your heart beating and causes you to breathe. It digests your food and takes care of all the automatic functions of the body and mind. Your memory, imagination, and visualization come under its control. Sit every day and ask this subconscious mind how to solve problems. Ask it for guidance as to how to increase your income. Tell it every night of the miracles you want it to perform, and it will act for you under definite cosmic laws. How business problems were solved for this man through his subconscious. A man I once knew had many business worries. He was in a real estate development project where he stood to lose all his money if he did not sell his holdings. It was not a time when real estate was selling well, however, and he could not sell. He tried subdividing the land, but without success. He went into subconscious meditation and asked his higher mind to help him solve his problem. As he sat quietly waiting for the answer, something seemed to tell him, why don't you advertise that you are going to open a big health community in your area? Give a lecture and invite people to attend, and then tell them about the benefits of buying your land. This idea was so startling that the man could hardly believe it would work. He put an ad in the papers telling about his plan to open a big health community with recreational facilities, swimming pool, community playgrounds, and other benefits, and he invited people to come to a lecture he was giving that weekend. The hall he had rented was packed, and people were vitally interested in sharing his community to get away from the polluted air of New York, so he engaged a big bus and drove people to his community in nearby Pennsylvania. There he had salesmen ready to show his land to potential customers, and soon he had sold every available lot and could have sold 50 more if he had had them. The community he had planned began to take shape and is now a thriving, health-minded, progressive center with its own schools, churches, recreation park, and community pool. This man made a fortune and also benefited the community he helped to establish.